How much did you invest in YouTube ads? How much did you get back so far?
Right now, all in, I'm about $3,500 in on the ad spend, and this listing is going to bring me about $20,000. So excellent ROI. This was just way easier. You know, it's like you said, like these are people that are ready to transact. They're looking for help on a regular basis, almost daily now. I'm going places and people I'm interacting with are like, "Hey, I saw your video." My bank teller, he's like, "Oh my God, I saw your video. That's great. Like you're blowing up." And I'm getting these text messages. I started interacting with another social influencer up here, and he's like, "I see you everywhere." And then he took a picture of himself next to my truck the other day. Because I've got that logo on the truck. He took a picture of it, and then funnily enough, I was coming out of a sushi restaurant. He took that picture, he was about to send it to me, and then he's walking in and he goes, "It's you. I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity." So the brand exposure too is huge.
All right, so this is how Dave Gove got a listing sold of $750,000 in less than 60 days in Lake Tahoe, California, with YouTube ads inside our program, the Listing Accelerator. Dave, what's up, man? Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. Well, first, I just want to clarify, the listing was $750. We were in contract and closing at $725. So don't want to mislead anybody out there, but still a $725,000 listing or deal. I'll take it.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying, man. Okay, so it's $725. Can you give a little bit of an intro, like just introduce yourself briefly?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. My name is Dave Gove, and I serve the Lake Tahoe and Truckee region in California. I am just shy of 30 years in the housing industry. Had a background of being a builder and then working for land developers. And I just went all in on real estate sales. Actually, the first quarter of 2020, believe it or not, it was a pretty interesting time to transition. It certainly wasn't planned that way. I just had finished up all my projects and I said, okay, I'm just going to do real estate sales now. And it's been a bit of a journey, interesting ride. From then till now, that's for sure.
Yeah, I bet you chose your timing right. That's
it really sure. Worked out.
Cool. Can we talk numbers? Like, how much did you invest in YouTube ads? How much did you get back so far?
Yeah, so right now, all in, I'm about $3,500 in on the ad spend, and this listing is going to bring me about $20,000. So excellent ROI. I am going to be reinvesting a bunch of that money. That's for sure.
Nice. Cool. So that's approximately like, 6 times your money back. And then you got about 15 leads. You got the listing implemented with that lead, got it under contract. Yeah. So one thing that we focus on with the YouTube ads is quality over quantity. Yeah. Right. So do you recall, how'd you find out about us in the first place?
That is a good question. Would you guys do an Instagram ad maybe?
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, probably.
I think it was a social media ad. I was like, that sounds pretty interesting. I mean, I've been working on my YouTube page or channel rather for well over a year now. And I always knew that I wanted to try and dabble in the in-stream skippable ads. And I had tried a couple of them myself, just like market updates, but it just wasn't, I was just spending money. I wasn't getting any connections. I wasn't getting any leads. I wasn't getting anything out of it. So, and one thing that I've learned throughout, well, just life is like, success leaves clues. There's professional people out there. And if you can, get them to help you and learn from them, then, that saves you a lot of time.
Right. Like, if you had to guess, what would you say is like the one thing you were missing back then when you were running your own ads on YouTube?
The split testing in the landing pages, I didn't do any of that stuff, so split testing different. Well, there's thumbnails aren't really a thing for the in-stream skippable, but, going through and taking a look and having the data and analyzing it and, going onto the calls and saying, okay, this one's got X amount of views and X amount of click-through rate. And this one has, X amount. So we need to focus on this one over here and turn this one off. That is really, refining that process is really something I had done any of that.
Gotcha. So like the optimization, looking at the data and then making a decision based off of that.
Exactly.
Nice. So before working with us, did you ever work with other lead gen providers, marketing companies, and like, did you ever get burned by some of them or?
Oh yeah. Everybody's got, there's a lot of snake oil out there, right? Everyone's got the magic, the magic touch. This was the first time I'd done a video campaign that I'd paid for, but I mean, I can't tell you how many tens of thousands of dollars I've spent on, Facebook ads, Instagram ads. Everybody's telling you that they've got the juice, but it just, always come up short.
Right. So knowing that and having that experience, what made you decide to move forward with this?
I just believed it could work. It made sense. And I know YouTube is also, it's still kind of the Wild West. It's undiscovered by agents seemingly. And there's a few out there. There's some really good YouTube channels out there. I mean, there's a lot of agents making really good content and getting organic leads from that, but I don't see anybody doing any of this, the in-stream skippable ads. So it just seemed like, an untapped resource for me in my area.
100%. Yeah. So basically it just made sense. If you could go back in time, give yourself an advice before running YouTube ads, what would that piece of advice be?
Start running YouTube ads in 2020.
Right. Just making it sooner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I guess like the next question I'd have for you would be, what's one thing that, coming in the program, you realized besides the fact that you didn't have like the optimization, the funnels in place, that maybe like you were blindsided by, like you didn't know you were needing that, if that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it was really just the optimization and, the split testing. That was the missing piece for me.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Now for a real estate agent watching this and maybe they're on the fence of joining our program, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that this actually works and, make sure that you are ready. And, if your listing presentation is on lock, if your pre-listing presentation is on lock, and you can go in there and once you've got the appointment, you can close the deal, then there's no reason why you shouldn't do this. Instead of spending time, circle dialing, prospecting, whatever it is, the video is prospecting for you. And there's going to be people that don't call you because they don't like you. And that's fine. You don't have to be liked by anybody. But this made a client pick up the phone and call me and say, come talk to me about listing my house. And it was just that simple.
Question for you. How warm was the lead that you got? Like the actual listing you got? Like how warm was it? And like, what was the process from A to Z? Like, was it kind of, because obviously these are cold leads, right? They probably never seen you before.
This thing was piping hot. Yeah. I mean, I saved the phone number in my phone as YouTube listing campaign or something like that. The phone rang. I picked it up. I'm immediately having an engaging conversation with this lead, inquiring about the property, inquiring about, just asking, going down through my question tree. And then, he was from out of town, which a lot of my people are, up in Lake Tahoe, where our feeder markets are the San Francisco Bay Area, Silicon Valley, Sacramento, things like that. And he said, hey, I'm on the road in 90 minutes here to go back home. And I said, I'll see you in 30. And, I went over there, met him, looked at the property, had a conversation about what his goals are and what was important to him about the transaction and his time frame and everything. And then he was on board from that first meeting right there. He held the property in a trust with 4 other family members. That was a little bit challenging bringing them along because they haven't seen any of the content, hadn't met me. But once I was able to establish, trust and rapport with the rest of them, then it was go time. And, it's a hot market up here. I had the house on the market for 10 days and went multiple offer. So
crazy.
Pretty awesome. Like if I can do deals like that, I'll do those all day, every day. Let's go.
Yeah. Congrats, man.
Thanks.
So basically, the main difference here, I think that people need to realize is that sellers are the one coming to you. Like that guy called you.
Yeah.
You didn't chase the lead, didn't have to like do cold calling, a bunch of like follow-ups or like chase them down for like 9 to 12 months, like a lot of marketing services offer. You just have to like chase down duds, right? Or leads that will like convert later down the line, which is fine, but you also need now business.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you, out of the marketing money that I have spent on social media campaigns, I mean, I have closed deals on them, but it's like the percentage of leads that come in to leads that you can actually get to communicate you is like 1 to 2%. Right? So you got to kiss so many frogs. This was just way easier. And then, it's like you said, like these are people that are ready to transact. They're looking for help, and who knows what they're looking for on YouTube, but there they are, there you are, you pop up and then, okay, this person, they sound like they know what they're talking about. This is a service that I need. This seems like somebody I might enjoy working with, let's make the connection.
There you go. Yeah. They already have a feel for your personality, how you work, if they would like you as a real estate agent or not. So yeah, it's almost like kind of a referral, right?
Yeah. And also the secondary thing that's happening is on a regular basis, almost daily now, I'm going places and people I'm interacting with are like, hey, I saw your video. hey, you're blowing up my stuff. You know, like the guy, just my bank teller. He's like, oh my God, I saw your video. That's great. Like, you're blowing up. And I'm getting these text messages. I started interacting with another social influencer up here. And, you know, he's like, I see you everywhere. And then he took a picture of himself next to my truck the other day. Because I've got that logo on the truck. And he took a picture of it. And then funnily enough, I was coming out of a sushi restaurant. He took that picture. He was about to send it to me. And then he's walking in and he goes, it's you. I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity. So, you know, the brand exposure too is huge. So, you know, obviously I'm getting those, you know, real deals, but then having the overall brand exposure. I mean, there's a reason why you see Coca-Cola billboards all over the world, all over the time, right? I mean, it's just how many times does somebody need to see your brand before it really locks into their brain? So presumably at some point in time, there'll be other, you know, transactions that'll happen organically because of this, because I will have that, you know, local presence and people will understand that I am, you know, I'm the go-to guy.
Exactly, man. Like, you perfectly explained how it is. Basically, with the personal brand that you're building, you're being perceived as the authority, right? The celebrity in your area. So what people don't realize is that on YouTube, you only pay if they click.
Right.
So you're basically getting free views. The people who are not clicking, you're still getting impressions. You're still getting in front of them, right? Which, like, no other platform lets you do. Like on Facebook, you pay per impression, not click.
Right.
So I think it's a massive opportunity that we have in front of us. So again, congrats for, you know, your success with your YouTube ads. And yeah, cheers to more success together, man.
I appreciate it. Appreciate all your help and looking forward to the next deals.
Same here.